Welcome to Becoming After 7 p.m. I'm your host, Stella O. Now, if you're wondering what am I going to be talking about, yes, we're still on the series of heartbreak. I'm not done yet. We still have to go through it. Yes. And I'm getting candid and sharing with you my own personal journey and experience that I have with heartbreaks. Now, if you missed the other episodes, I am sharing my first heartbreak. Who is that? I share who that is. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and listen to the other episodes, including this one. Now, let's dive into it. Now, the topic for today is reckoning. They're like, okay, reckoning. Yeah, we're going to be reflecting and learning. There's a reflection and learning in a heartbreak. It's not always negative. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, as they say, right? So sis, go ahead and pull your chair in because we're going to have this conversation together of what is going on when we're going through these heartbreaks. I feel like us women, we really go through it. We do. Because it hurts us to the core. Like to the point of like the no point of return. Not literally, but it's just an emotional roller coaster where it just never ends, but it does. And that's what I'm going to get candid about. Now, this is where you start asking yourself these questions, and I know I have. Why did this happen to me? The why? Why did this happen to me? Why did this person do this to me? Why do I deserve this? The why avenue. We're in why. Now, sis, I know you know what I'm talking about. We have gone into the why avenue and we have why this and why that. I didn't do anything. But does that help? The question's okay. But do you have an answer or solution? And I realized with myself, I was looking in the rearview mirror, looking what was behind me and keeping my whys in the past. But I kept on being stuck in the past. Stella was stuck in the past. I couldn't really move forward because I just was not looking at the windshield. I wasn't looking at what was in front of me. What happened to me happened to me. It's an acknowledgement. It's a reflection. Now, why did it happen? Sometimes it's unexplainable. You know, there are people who do things. I don't know if you have friends or if you have witnessed that some people do things to others with no emotion or they just don't care and then they just do it just because. They care less how it's going to affect the person. What if that person was that to you and you don't know? They just made a decision or hurt you just because. But I feel like it's our responsibility personally. We have to go ahead and grab the mantle and not give power to someone who does not even deserve the power. If it has ended and that situation has come to an end, why are we still pondering on it? You get better with each heartbreak, I feel like. You learn from it as well. What did you learn from it? That's the next question. What did you learn from it? You have to learn something from it. I don't care what it is. Everything in life that happens to you in a negative or positive way, there's a lesson behind it. What did you learn from it? What did Stella learn from it? What do I want moving forward? I just talked about the rearview mirror. Now, if I'm steadily looking back and I'm looking back at my why, I'm still stuck in why avenue, then I can't move forward. I can only move backwards or just be stuck in the same place. So what do I want moving forward? There's a need. We're living beings. And I know for me as a woman, I want to be wanted. I want to grow. I want to increase in everything that I do in life, whether it's on a professional level, whether it's a a hairstyle, whether it's my skin. There's always an improvement that you want for yourself. Mentally, you want to read more, spiritually. There are things that you do want to do to help you move forward. But how do you move forward from all those things that happen to you? The why, you're in Y Avenue. What did you learn? How do you move forward? And I know. It's painful because I've been there, where you feel like there's nothing that can be done to take that pain away. But essentially, the stage you gain clarity. The stage that your stage that you are at, it may not be where you give yourself the accurate answer, but give yourself an answer. Give yourself grace. Give yourself, okay, I can't answer this today, but I do know that I'm going to be moving forward. Those affirmations, I know, mean a lot. At times you don't want to get out the bed and you have to affirm and speak positivity in your life. Have someone in your corner who is positive. They may not essentially know what you're going through, but hey, they can feel you need somebody to just bring you up. You need clarity about yourself. I know for me, everything that has hurt me to the core, deep, you know how it is when you're hurt and you can feel it in your chest. You can feel it like physically. I was reading this book and it was talking about stress levels and depression and all that, and how if you don't talk about it, that depression comes off physically. Like, I may be quoting it wrong, but I'm just paraphrasing. They said that going through the reflections and it's healthy for you. Like, we're human beings. Life is not, there's no perfection in life, but the imperfections bring perfection, if you know what I mean. Like, the beauty of you having a flaw, it's so profound, and it's like an inverse to perfection. But too much of it can be detrimental to your health. That's why when you hold anything in, it reflects physically. You start having migraines. You start not even wanting to, your body is sore. You're groggy. It goes beyond, and the mental and the spiritual starts affecting you. But when you push yourself and you tell yourself that you can move forward. Like, I know for me, I have been depressed, deep depression. Oh, deep. You know when you're in deep depression that you don't even realize that you're depressed? When you're depressed, you don't even know that you're depressed. Literally, like, you're just gone. You're spiraled into this, I don't even know, black hole. You're just gone. It was a time where I cut myself off from everybody. You did not see Stella for about almost 2 years. I was gone, and I didn't even realize I was deep into depression until over a year and a half. I was like, wow, I really am. I think I'm depressed. I think I am. So what just happened? And in depression, you can victimize yourself to the point of no return. And whatever happened, happened. What did I learn from it? I don't need to be in that stage again. And what do I want moving forward? What I want moving forward is to live. Like, when my father passed away, he passed on. That's something that's inevitable, that I cannot change. I only have one father. I had to accept he is never coming back. He's not, Stella. You can cry, you can wallow, you can keep it to yourself, but he will never come back. What did I learn from it? I learned that I loved a man that showed me unconditional love. I learned that I had a father. Some people don't even have a father. They don't even know who their father is. They don't even know who their father is. I'm sorry. But what did I learn from it? I learned that I had a great father. Not perfect. He was great in my eyes. He treated me like a princess. I've never had a man treat me the way my father treated me. So you see, I had to make those negatives that was keeping me down into a positive. And now I smile. I have joy when I have thoughts about my father. Now, what do I want moving forward? He's gone. What do I do moving forward? I have reflections and ways of my father that even his colleagues from 40, 50 years ago are like, wow, you remind me so much of your father. So I embrace that. I am my father's daughter. That can never change. And what do I want moving forward? I want to live. I was not living then. I was actually living, but I was just dead. You know, there are many people out here who are really essentially dead, but they're just living and breathing. That is not a purposeful life, and that's what I was doing to myself. It's painful, but where you get clarity is when you start knowing yourself, when you identify and say, I matter. Not me and my homegirls, me and my family. I always attached myself because my life was centered, majority of my adult life was centered into motherhood, being a mother, providing for my children, being a mother, being a mother. How long can I do it before I get to a breaking point? And I did. You know why? Because I identified with being a mother, provide for my children, being a mother, provide for my children. There was nothing about myself, my needs. I would put my children's needs and everybody's needs before me. That's crazy. I always use this all the time, especially when I'm flying. What do they do? When they're giving the emergency safety measures, I may be quoting it wrong, and they're there, and the flight attendant is like, pay attention, and the thing drops down for the air, and if we get into an emergency, do you give it to the child? Do you give it to anybody else? No. Use the oxygen for yourself. Why? Why? I was using the oxygen for my children, for my job, for my family. I'm not saying it's wrong, but use it after you have used it for yourself. Help yourself. Help your needs. Cater to your needs. And then the patterns in relationships. You know, for us women, I feel like we do carry. Yeah, I said it. Sure did. We do carry things that hurt us into the next relationship, not intentionally, without knowing, because we haven't really got over it. Are they patterns there? It may be a pattern that you need to change. Reflecting on, okay, this person is saying the same thing. Maybe I have some work to do in me. You know, for us women, we're the innocent ones. We are. That is the truth. And the men are the ones who make the mistake. I won't lie. Why would you want to identify that you're the problem? But maybe you are part of the problem. Remember, in a relationship, it takes two to tango, not one. So what happened was both of you. It wasn't just you by yourself. There are things that you accepted, and there are things that he accepted. And it doesn't have to be in a romantic relationship. I've feel like every relationship, there's a contribution of both parties. It's never just one-sided. Even though it may be where essentially this one person is the cause of this. There's a cause and effect, but there's also a cause and effect. You have to also take responsibility. That's essentially what I'm saying. But every situation is different. Maybe you are an enabler. Maybe you just forgave too much. Maybe you just allowed things to slide. Maybe you made this person who they were. We're all individuals, but I feel like we play a part. There's some people where they're just not good for each other at all. Some relationships are just not good for each other, even with families. There are some relationships like, you know what, I just don't need to be around you or anything like that. So you have to also see maybe there are certain characteristics of some individuals that just don't mix well with your characteristic, like just oil and water. Why would I have a girlfriend? I'm just saying essentially, I don't go to the club, right? I'm not against anybody going to the club. That is just not my lifestyle. I have friends who do. Hear what I said, friends. But it's not something that I would be around that person continuously. It's just not my cup of tea. So, or somebody who I like to socialize. I like to socialize with intentions. There are certain things that I like to do. Everything that I try to do, I've noticed, it has to be intentional. Everybody is not like that. For me, I always ask questions like, okay, so why am I going to this event? And why am I doing this? And why am I doing that? Have I gone to the club? Yes, I have. It is just not my cup of tea. I don't see the point of it at all. And there are some people who may look at me and say, you're boring, because I like being at home. But that's who I am. So your relationships may even be an issue because you have different patterns. Now, in heartbreak, I feel like there's a beauty in everything that is broken. Now, I forgot the name of, I think it's a Chinese or Asian, where they see a beauty in a broken, I think it was like China pieces. I forgot the name of it. I can't even believe, but they glue it back together because the pieces that are broken are never put back the same way. If you take the same cup, you break it and you piece it together. I take the same cup, break it and piece it together. The imperfections are beautified. I can't believe I forgot the name, but that's how I look at heartbreak. My heartbreak and your heartbreak is completely different. I may have been broken into many pieces, but the beauty is when I'm put together, I'm not broken. I'm just put together in a different way. Yes, I have those scars. Yes, I have those imperfections. But the beauty of it is that I am still together. Your heartbreak may be less pieces, but you are able to put yourself together. And it's in such a beautiful way. When I think about that, I think about a fingerprint. Everybody has a unique fingerprint. No one's fingerprint is the same. And each heartbreak is beautified in such a unique way. So reflecting back on what you have gone through is important, but not staying back in that reflection. Look forward. What's in front of you and what you've learned. What have you learned? What have you learned from that heartbreak? Are you still thinking about the heartbreak? And what do you want moving forward? See, for me, I want peace. I want peace. You know, peace is something that you can never buy. You can't go into aisle 1, 2, and buy peace. I want love, that unconditional love, which is very hard to find, even within family. It's painful, but you get clarity about who you are, your needs. Don't feel guilty of doing something that gives you a peace. I started to garden. That's what I started to do. And it was one of my aunts who actually said, Stella, you have to take care of yourself. She saw listening to your elders is important. I started trying to figure out what I like. And I started to garden. Of course, the first year was terrible. I had squirrels eating my stuff. I was fighting nature with a vengeance. But today, I love to garden. And the beauty about that for me, I garden here in my hometown. I have a kitchen garden, as they call it back home where I'm from in Kenya. And last year, it's so funny how life kind of circles back. I went into commercial farming. Isn't that funny? So what I did for myself, and gardening is so therapeutic, seeing something come from nothing. And you have to nurture it. You have to till the soil. It's a beautiful thing, especially when you start eating from your garden. And now it's funny, I actually have a commercial farm. Of course, I can't do it's on a larger scale. But I wonder if I didn't do gardening and I didn't do something that was for my needs, which was very therapeutic, would I ever have the farms that I have? I don't think so. I don't think I would have an open mind to even have a farm. It's something more far-fetched, but it gives you, the smallest thing gives you the possibility of the impossibility. Never in my wildest dreams would I think I would be farming hectares of land. It's a beautiful thing to feed the community. And that relationship that I have, yes, I have a relationship with my plants, I do. In life, whatever you give, it gives back to you. So my reflection on my pain, my loss of my father, my mother, my brother, I started to garden. I started to learn what Stella liked to do, what gave Stella joy. And in that, it gave me clarity of, it's okay, Stella, to open up. It's okay to share your imperfections with others. It's okay to share your story with other women. Share your pain, share your overcoming, share your disappointment, share your brokenness. Because there's so much beauty when you're put back together. Yes, I may have scars, but those scars don't define who I am. Those scars don't. There's no ID that says my first and last name and my brokenness and my heartbreak. See, when you look up to somebody, they have a story. You don't look for, what is it called? Someone to mentor you. Why would someone mentor you when they haven't gone through anything? They haven't gone through anything. That tells me everybody in this life has gone through some type of pain, some type of shock, some type of denial, some type of reflection, some type of learning of who you are or who you are becoming. And that's for me where I'm at. That's for me why I created this space for myself. And not even just for me, I feel like everybody is becoming a different part of them. You're picking up the pieces to become the better version, the beautified version of yourself. Those things don't define you, they make you stronger. Those things don't define you, they make you resilient. They make you stand tall and say, you know what, I've gone through this. And I know even if I go through something else that may be harder, you have built the strength to be able to push through. And I feel like for me, if that didn't break me, there's nothing else that can break me. This is where I feel like we all learn from each other, grow with each other, and strengthen each other. Now, this is the heartbreak for today, the reflection, and also the learning of who you are as an individual. I'm your host, Stella O. And go ahead and comment and let me know, how exactly are you coping with your heartbreak? Do you ask yourself these questions? Have you ever asked yourself these questions? Are you stuck, still looking at the rearview mirror in your past? Or are we going to go ahead and move forward together? Because that's what we have to do. Baby steps. What is your garden? What is your farm? What is something that you need to just try? There's nothing wrong with trial and error. You'll find what makes you happy and what brings you joy. I'll see you at the next podcast after 7 p.m.